Good Thursday evening, meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center with this live update. Taking a look here at the current infrared satellite imagery, we are now tracking Tropical Storm Fay off the North Carolina coast. So not too big of a deal right now, not too big of a deal overall, but we need to watch it here for the Northeast because this is something they don't normally deal with, honestly. Haven't seen a system affect them here in a little bit, maybe with a landfall type situation up there. So we're going to go ahead and dive into more details on this here in just a moment, but real quick you can kind of see what the storm system is looking like here, and you can see some of this thunderstorm activity. We have the center of circulation. I'll go ahead and kind of put that on here so you get a better vantage point on everything, just kind of give you a little more perspective as we kind of move a couple things around behind the scenes real quick. You'll be able to see what I'm talking about. And we do have the winds here. As I go ahead and plot them on, you can kind of see that we have the center here. It's a little displaced from the axis still, but it is pretty close. Our hurricane center information will back this up here as well. And we are watching this storm as it does track closer toward New York here as we move later into tomorrow. Now we're going to be watching these winds. They should stay pretty strong here for a little bit as it sits there, tropical storm, maybe even intensifying a bit. But ultimately, it's going to start moving into cooler waters and eventually over land, and we'll see a weakening situation here as it does move along as we get to about 2 a.m. Saturday, where we have this point here with the storm system, with the tropical storm center there, and maybe parts of eastern New York as we are looking ahead. And we'll get, again, more into this in just a moment, but just wanted to give you a quick overview on that. We'll continue to watch this situation with Tropical Storm Fay, but let's go ahead and turn our attention to some of the local weather information right now. We'll go ahead and switch you over to our GR Level 3 computer right now, and just to be able to see what is happening here in our region in terms of some showers and thunderstorms around. We do have quite a few of them in the picture, even some significant weather advisories. So let's go ahead and zoom on in here. We do have some potential here for some gusty winds to about 40 miles an hour or so. I guess that Fernandina Beach around 612 was to 34 miles per hour, so we're getting some pretty gusty winds. Nothing extreme, nothing severe right now. Though you do see the marine warning out in place here for the coastal waters, and that's something they have to watch because, of course, when you're in a marine type situation, you need to be even more cognizant because of the wind potential that can occur with this action can be a little bit more impactful there as you are looking toward those areas. So right now, though, with this action, you do see it kind of moving down here, generally toward the south and the east. You see around Hilliard, getting over toward Kingsland, St. Mary's, and we're just kind of looking at the wind energy again. Nothing extreme, but we're watching it here, looking at some of our different parameters. You see some of the stronger wind around Fernandina Beach. So this significant weather advisory goes here to about 7 as they're watching a line of some strong thunderstorms in that general area at the Weather Service office, not too far away. In fact, they're in Jacksonville and Duval County, and then we're watching some strong action here toward parts of Coffee County here as well. Also getting toward parts of Atkinson County, Irwin County. So just going to keep our eyes on that situation up there. We're looking a little further away on this radar, but you kind of get the idea. We're just going to keep our eyes on this situation there as we get deeper in toward southern Georgia. And then just going back down, you do see some scattered showers, nothing too substantial right now, though. I know last night down here in towards some of our southeastern zones, some areas picked up significant rainfall, and that did cause some minor flooding in some areas. So you always have to be cognizant that if you see too much water there, or if you think it could be too much water over the roadway, you just want to go ahead and turn around and not drown. That's the motto there, turn around, don't drown, from the National Weather Service. So always important to keep that in mind here. But we're going to watch these rain chances go down a little bit, but that means potential for some stronger storms, especially as we get toward the weekend here. The temperatures warming on up, so we're going to see a little more sunshine around, a little more stability, a little nastier feeling outside, but also, even if we don't get as many storms, as much rain, generally could have more concentrated action that's a little more substantial. So just kind of keep in mind we might have to cut in some over the weekend, and we're going to be watching Fay here as well, and be cutting in for Fay here as necessary as we watch that impact there tomorrow as we look toward the northeast. So watching the mid-Atlantic there as well, and getting toward parts of New England there too. So again, that's kind of the story, the takeaway on that for now here is some of those weather stem cameras. We'll go ahead and start off here with the Union County Emergency Management look at things here on your Thursday, and you'll be able to see here we do have some pretty nice conditions there overall. That's the good news as we're looking toward Lake Butler. That is the good news here as we are looking toward Union County. We do have some of that action, some of those showers and storms in other areas, but not too impactful here around Lake Butler right now. Another stop on our tour as we move away from the Union County Emergency Management camera. We'll now take you to the baseball grounds in Jacksonville and Duval County, and you see a little more cloud cover in the picture here, but nothing too substantial still, and that is the good news. Another stop here on the tour will take you to Tallahassee, a look of the stadium there in Leon County at Florida State University, and you'll be able to see the sun is shining bright. Hopefully we can have some college football, but things are changing here by the minute, so hopefully just kind of hold out hope here for some college football. But of course, you got to take all those precautions here with the coronavirus around, and we'll find out more information on some of these different contingency plans here, as we do look along. So we'll watch, we'll wait, we'll try to give you that information here. Right now it's looking like mainly conference games according to sources for the Seminoles, but things are still up in the air, and we'll of course keep our eyes on that. But let's go ahead and pop back over to the current radar imagery here, and we'll show you what's happening here in the local area, and you'll be able to see what is going on here again one more time with some of those showers and thunderstorms around. And if you hear thunder, of course, in these areas, that means you're close enough to be struck by lightning. So when thunder roars, go indoors. That's a critical motto there as well. So watch that. Now let's look at some other things. I know we just had a tornado warning drop off in Iowa. We'll go ahead and go to that area there just to kind of see what is happening here, as we did have this warning that was in effect. I backed it up a frame. This is no longer in effect as of just the latest update here, but we do have a tornado warning that was on the board here that I have up right now. This was northwest of Davenport, but the tornado warning's been canceled there for Cedar County, so that's some good news. This is the current look at things. Some strong storms, severe storms moving toward Davenport, and we just got a new warning here where they're going for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and maybe some small hail in that area as well. We'll watch that. Watching some other areas here in toward parts of, looks like Wisconsin here too. You have that slight risk of severe weather in play there. We have quite a few areas here that do have a slight risk of severe weather today. We have one down here towards southern Arkansas here as well, in toward parts of Oklahoma. Just watching here as we put on some of our potentials. This is for damaging wind in most, if not all, of these areas really, with that slight risk in play. So you do see these different yellow areas. We're watching that potential. You have to look also up toward parts of Colorado here, Nebraska. I know. Just kind of looking back here yesterday, we did have a deadly tornado in Minnesota, unfortunately. We were covering some of that action here live for you on the different platforms, and unfortunate situation where a person did lose their life there in toward that area and toward parts of that state of Minnesota. So a tragedy there. You just got to always remember when you hear a tornado warning, just go ahead and get inside and away from windows. I know it was a really dramatic situation there with the video coming out of that situation, because you could just see the spin. It was really, really concentrated, that spin there, I mean, into a smaller area, but it was a really strong type situation there. There's wind speeds really high, unfortunately, it seemed, in that area. So we'll continue to watch everything in the national picture. But now let's go ahead and get back over to Fay, Tropical Storm Fay. Of course, that name sounds familiar. We touched on it earlier in the week, but 12 years ago we had Fay really impact our area. Of course, a different type of situation, of course, as we were watching a storm system move on to the southwest Florida coast, and then dance all around the state here for days, dumping torrential downpours, causing significant flooding. This is a situation where we did have it impacting Florida before it developed here tropically, as we did have Invest 98L, but now we have this storm system off the North Carolina coast, and you do see here this track toward the northeast, towards some of those areas, and we do have that tropical storm warning there impacting areas from parts of New Jersey to parts of Rhode Island. So you do need to be cognizant there. We could have some isolated damage there in some of those coastal areas. This shouldn't be too big of an event overall, but still you have to be cognizant. Gusty winds, heavy rain, maybe some isolated tornadoes as well in towards some of these spots. So we're going to be watching here. I know Connecticut would be in a favorable spot here for some tornadic action, for instance, Massachusetts as well. So we'll be just kind of watching to see how things do develop with this. It shouldn't be too big of a deal, but it's something they don't get that often up here. But when they do get storms, sometimes they are pretty substantial. This isn't substantial really, but we did have, for instance, a couple that come to mind here. 2011, Hurricane Irene, and 2012 we had Sandy, of course, as well. And those were very, very significant storms, especially Sandy impacting the region. This is nothing in terms of those. It's just that those are two of the last storms that really had impact this region. So if you're saying, oh, we had those storms in, it's going to be really significant. Well, most areas it's not going to be that significant here, but still a few spots could have some flooding. Still could have, I mean, there'll be an isolated spot or two that could have some issues, and I mean, one area of flooding is all it takes, unfortunately, for a deadly situation to arise. So of course, I just want to continue to watch this situation here and take heed of the local precautions that are being taken there in toward your area there. So we'll watch this storm system moving north at 7 miles an hour, 45-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds. You can see the track here again, New Jersey, New York, and we'll cut in here if necessary. As we look into tomorrow, we'll probably be cutting in some, probably for a landfall, depending on if it just makes landfall once here. Probably cut in at least once here, and probably just once for a landfall type situation, and maybe an evening type cut in here as well. We might combine those depending on how things go. This is a fluid situation, so we'll at least break in once tomorrow and maybe more if necessary here. So we'll be watching again and just taking a look here at the latest information as we do get some of those storm names. Again, Fay now, we're just going through this list really quick. I mean, Fay is now our 6th name storm, and this is the earliest we've ever gotten to the 6th name on the list. So definitely something you have to watch here, and that's something that we're going to continue to track as hurricane season goes along. We'll have more and more names, of course, go off here on this list, and it's been pretty active and is looking to stay pretty active, so just stay with me here. Of course, we'll continue to watch things here in the Weather Center. And speaking of active hurricane seasons, 15 years ago tomorrow is the anniversary of Hurricane Dennis. Hurricane Dennis did impact especially the Pensacola area there, Category 3 storm with maximum sustained winds of about 120 miles an hour when it made landfall there. We did have some impacts there, even in toward the Big Bend there, some pretty significant storm surge, gust over 50 miles an hour, about 6.5 inches of rain at Tallahassee Airport, and isolated tornadoes as well were the story. I know we had some impacts there, Suwannee, Hamilton counties, for instance, seeing some of those storm reports there as I was looking back at that. So you always just have to take heed here when those situations arise and arrive in toward your area. So just we'll watch here, nothing like this developing though anytime soon here. It doesn't look like in the tropics, and that's some good news here. As we look here at the notes real quick again, we'll continue to watch things. Of course, the heat index, I'll talk about that here in a moment, as that's one of our bigger stories with these scattered showers and thunderstorms. But real quick on a lighter note here, we want to try to be on a little bit of a positive and lighter type note here as we kind of look back here in the Weather Center 15 years ago. Tomorrow, in fact, this is me here in the Weather Center tracking Hurricane Dennis, and quite a bit younger then, but trying to find out the latest information on the storm system using weather radio, using paintbrush on a computer here. So kind of intriguing there as we continue to watch hurricanes here as they do evolve, tropical systems as they evolve here from the same spot here in the Weather Center. So let's go ahead and move on now, and we'll show you here that planning forecast for our local area for the next few days. We'll be showing you what to expect again with those heat index values staying high, 60% chance of precipitation here as we look in toward your Friday, in toward your Saturday, and we'll be seeing those temperatures rise up a little bit. Could start to fall a little as we get into next week. We'll see how things evolve with that, but it's going to be hot out there, so make sure you take plenty of precautions. You see these low temperatures here, 74 the next few mornings here as we're looking ahead, give or take a couple of degrees depending on exactly where you're at in the area. So again, we're just going to watch things. I know weather's a lifelong passion for me here, and we're going to continue to just watch things here as they evolve with those scattered showers and thunderstorms, of course, with Tropical Storm Fay. And here to look at your Tallahassee Valdosta area forecast 60% chance of rain here on your Friday. And then as we look into towards Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, you see those rain chances falling just a little bit across our region. You see these temperatures here warming up, but then again showing a little bit of signs here of falling as we get toward the Monday. You see these different readings here in the morning hours as well, as we see those temperatures in the mid-70s. So kind of warm. We're watching the radar, of course, here in the Weather Center. Nothing severe right now, and that's the good news. But some strong storms there in toward Nassau, Camden counties. And if anything turns severe, of course, we'll break in for. We're watching some action at Fort Coffee County, Irwin County, up into Georgia there as well. So if anything turns severe, we'll break in for. But that pretty much does it here for you Thursday. Again, I think that pretty much wraps it on up here as we go ahead and look ahead toward next week. Of course, we're going to be doing our schedule in there next week. I'll probably dive more into details on that here coming up pretty soon as we do kind of look ahead in toward the future. And I'll be back again tomorrow with some coverage of Tropical Storm Fay here on the various platforms. For now, thanks so much for tuning in, and thanks so much for trusting me. I'm meteorologist Casey Cloud.